shock from the black shadow. It was the same hamster that had grown in size. Newman's eyes widened in horror, his mouth opened because the hamster was about to fall on him. This huge pet was flying from the sky with its entire body towards Newman. At that time, the protagonist stood with his back to Newman, his hand on his belt, and there was a bang. The huge hamster was lying on the ground, having crushed the knight. The brown-haired man raised his finger up with a malicious smile and understood that such people should be driven out, because this would solve the problem with the rotten man inside the estate forever. It was a huge mountain plain with fields. At that time, Peepodong was throwing the earth. This hamster was throwing it in all directions. Peepodong was digging a ditch along the entire street of the city. The brown-haired man looked at him with a grin, while Xavier tried to understand what his beast was doing. Lloyd replied that he was getting ready to widen the road. They were tired and excited workers who were carrying materials and bags. Then moments later they immediately became pumped up and angry with sweat because they suddenly turned into brave craftsmen. It was a beautiful white tile laid in a path. Lloyd explained that in ancient times there was such a city as Rome and its inhabitants loved roads very much because they built a special road system called the Appice Way. The main character looked at the teacher with a grin from under his bangs and said that they would now start from the Baron's house and extend the road to the eastern slope. The protagonist was about to leave, putting his hand in his pockets, while Xavier looked cold-blooded and tried to understand why exactly the road, to which Lloyd replied that he himself would soon see everything. Xavier stared at the grin of his comrade, who said because the popularity of their village would skyrocket. Then the main character looked back with an exclamation when he was asked about where he learned all this. The main character looked at him intently, because Xavier asked about how he came up with the idea of a heating system that they had never heard of before. And he also suddenly learned to summon something from the Vey, and all this looks like high-level magic. The blue-haired knight looked at him with disdain and asked if he was really their master. A red message popped up about the danger that Xavier doubted him. The smooth character looked at him, bulging his eyes. Xavier looked cold-blooded and